Hello, this is Arlen Addison for Online Environmental Sustainability. I'm doing my LEED building over the Compass Bank in Baytown, Texas. I did go visit it in person, but I wanted to I took pictures of it and I want to do a PowerPoint of it and then do a voiceover for two reasons. One, because I can get more information in there that would be hard to make sure I hit all the important points while walking around through the building and recording a video. And two, I was a bit hesitant and nervous to walk into a bank and record a video for sort of obvious reasons. This is the only LEED certified building in my area. And it's also the only LEED certified building in Baytown. There are two other buildings that are currently in the process of getting certified, but this is the only one that has as of yet been certified. As a quick overview of it, it's certified in 2012 under the LEED V2 with the subcategory of interior design and construction. It received a total of 23 out of 57 possible points towards its LEED certification, and this is a new bank that replaced the older Compass Bank, which was at the same location. And here's some photos of the exterior of the building. It starting from the top left and then going left to right, and then the bottom row left to right is a nearly 360 view of the building. It doesn't look like much. It looks like a sort of new building, but nothing about it would kind of signal that it's actually LEED certified. For comparison, this is the old Compass Bank at the same location versus the new location, the new bank. This is the image on the left is kind of grainy. It's the only picture I could find of the older building. I remember I sort of grew up in Baytown, and I remember seeing that building plenty, but I never had any reason to take a photo of it. So this is, like I said, the only photo that I could find of it. And then again, the newer building on the right. So I'm going to go through and break down all the points it earned through each of the possible subcategories. So the first category is sustainable site, and it did not receive any LEED points for this. I have mixed feelings about this. On one hand, the building is not very accessible except by car. It's not very easy to get to through walking, biking, or public transportation. And it's built in an area that only about 2 to 3 decades ago was largely untouched habitat, and has since kind of been heavily developed into residential areas and commercial areas. I have a map here on the bottom of the slide, and the red arrow in the center is where the Compass Bank is. The Compass Bank is in the parking lot of a Walmart, and I do have mixed feelings about this because on one hand, it is good that the new building, instead of destroying more untouched remnant habitat, that the new building decided to demolish the older Compass Bank and build on the same location. And it is good that the building is built in a existing parking lot. So again, you're taking unused parking lot space and turning it into a building rather than again going through and destroying the remaining remnant habitats. But again, I have mixed feelings about this because over the course of my life, I've seen this area become heavily developed, and having a new building contributing to that, I don't know how I feel. But again, it didn't receive any points in the sustainable site subcategory, so I'll move on. It did receive both possible points for water efficiency. It uses the way these points are awarded is that the average tenant amount of water use is calculated, and then for whatever percentage you use less, you can receive a certain amount of LEED points. So this Compass Bank uses at least 30% less water annually than what the average tenant would use at that location. And then on the bottom of the slide, I went through and found a report by the city of Baytown, where the bank is located, on its average annual water use. So the city of Baytown gets its water entirely from the Trinity River, and it uses about a little over 3 billion gallons of water annually. And of that, about 14% is for commercial use, such as the Compass Bank. Now, I did a couple of quick calculations. If all of the commercial buildings throughout Baytown, and I'll emphasize that commercial buildings are separated from industrial buildings. In Baytown, there's a heavy presence of oil and gas and chemical refineries, and those go under the industrial category. The commercial category are things like the Compass Bank, restaurants, places like Walmart, shopping centers. So those are those kind of buildings. Now, again, if every one of those commercial buildings in Baytown reduce their water usage by 30%, which Compass Bank has done, that would cut down the city of Baytown's total water use overall by 4.2%, saving about 35 million gallons of water annually. And there's a lot of things that this bank did and other buildings can do to reduce water use. One of the big ones is in the restrooms to switch to faucets that have low water use and toilets that reduce the amount of water per flush while still making sure that they do their intended purpose, but also saving water at the same time. So reducing water use through low water sinks and low water toilets are a great way to reduce water amounts. And I haven't crunched the numbers on that, but I believe if they do both of those, I don't think it would be hard to hit the 20 to 30% reduction in water, because most of the commercial water use goes through sinks and toilets. For energy and atmosphere, it did very well, getting 8 out of 12 possible points. It increased its energy performance, the energy efficiency of lighting, through switching to LED light bulbs, which are very energy efficient. It also improved the efficiency of its HVAC, which is heating, ventilation, and AC units, and the new construction, the new building, using more efficient HVAC equipment. It also optimized the energy use of equipment and appliances. And I looked this one up, and the criteria for this award is to make sure that at least 70% of all of the electronic appliances in the building are Energy Star rated. So I don't believe that's too hard to use. And this one this one is the building has a incentive to do this, because by using Energy Star and energy efficient appliances, it will be saving energy costs in the long run. And then the last one, it has received 2 points in energy use measurements and payment accountability. I looked this award up as well, and what this means is that over 70% of the building has some way of monitoring the amount of energy use. For example, it will know monthly how much energy goes to the HVAC unit versus the lighting unit versus the ATM. So it monitors how much energy each various system or appliance in the building uses, and uses that data to become more energy efficient and optimize its energy use. It didn't receive a lot of points in material and resources. The 2 points it did receive was 1 for having a long-term commitment to using that site. The logic behind this award is that if a building remains in the same location for an extended amount of time, then that means the site will be redeveloped less often, therefore using less energy and using less material. So the criteria for this award is to sign an agreement saying that the tenant will stay at the same location for at least 10 years, which this Compass Bank did. And I can see it staying there longer than 10 years because the original building was in the same location and has been there for at least 20 or 30 years. So I see it staying in this location for a long time, which is good because it means that the site won't have to go through and be redeveloped, costing energy and resources. The other point it was awarded was in construction. It was able to divert over 50% of the construction waste from the landfill, so things like packaging, leftover materials, bricks, whatever it is. They were either recycled or reused. So, like I said, again, over 50% of construction waste didn't go to a landfill. It did very well in indoor environmental quality. Mostly this is indoor air quality. In the construction, it used a variety of techniques and resources and materials that improve indoor air quality. For example, it got a point for increasing indoor air ventilation. It used low emissions and low VOC, adhesive, sealants, paints, coatings, carpets, and so on. And then adding all those various points it received up together, it got a total of 9 out of 17 possible points. And the last possible subcategory for points is innovative design. It received 2 out of 5 possible points. It received 1 point for having innovation in the design, and another point for consulting with the LEED accredited construction professional in the construction phase. So adding all of these points that I've just gone up together, it received a total of 23 points, which does make it LEED certified. And these are my citations. I used the water report from the city of Baytown to look at the annual water usage and breakdown of the city of Baytown's water. And then also I retrieved the information about the Compass Bank from the U.S. Green Business Council's website, which does the LEED certifications. So thank you very much, and have a good day.